if you've never traveled for your business, if you've never invested in a conference, if you've never done any networking like that, I encourage you, highly encourage you to go out of your comfort zone and just do one, right? Whether it is the Painter Growth Mastermind. And if you're interested in that, I'll throw a link below. We're doing one in April in Orlando. We have a couple of tickets left. Or if it is one of the PCA events, like the residential conference in the fall, or the commercial painting conference, or with the women in paint, or the PCA en Espanol. Sherwin-Williams does a lot of events.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
This episode has been generously sponsored by Drip Jobs. If you're looking to save time and close more jobs, Drip Jobs is a CRM built specifically for painting contractors. You can manage your leads, automate your follow-ups, build proposals, and send invoices all in one place. And with powerful tools like production rates and job costing, it will allow you to work smarter, not harder. So I really recommend Drip Jobs. To see how it can help you streamline your business, click the link in the description and check out the special offer for this podcast. What's up, everybody? Gore Hickman here, founder of PainterGrowth.com, and you're listening to an audio-only version of the Painter Growth Podcast. That's because I don't have all my podcast gear here while I am at the PCA Expo, and I really wanted to get a little episode out for you guys today. So what I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys about today was just really, for everyone who's not here at the PCA Expo, I wanted to just talk about the expo, what it's kind of about, some of the things that I'm learning, some of the people that I'm meeting, and just giving you guys a little bit of a taste of why I think that if you've never traveled for work, if you've never invested in your company, if you've never invested in yourself, and you just like go on and you watch all this free stuff, like free stuff is great, but there is absolutely something to be said about going out of your comfort zone, make an investment in yourself, going to something, meeting new people, something like the PCA Expo, something like the Painter Growth Mastermind, investing in yourself in both time and money. And I think one part of investment that is not typically talked about as much isn't just the time, it's not just the money, but it's what you're giving up instead. So for me, when I travel, when I do this kind of stuff, like right now I'm in Denver, and I can talk for a minute about my day yesterday. Some of you guys saw it on Instagram, and kind of sharing my travel day. I'll talk about in a second, but the biggest consideration that I have when traveling isn't the money, isn't the time anymore, but it is the time away from my wife and my kids. Because that, like, to leave my wife and kids for 3 to 5 days for whatever event that I'm going to. I was gone for 8 days earlier this month, and late January, and now this is going to be 5 days. So like in a 3-week period, being gone for like 13 days, it's a pretty significant amount of time away from the family. And I miss my kids and I miss my wife, and I miss being home. I don't love traveling and being on hotels and Airbnbs and that stuff, but the value that you get out of it when you do these types of things and go out of your comfort zone is it cannot be replicated just locally in your city. So the amount of people that you meet and knowledge that you gain and insights that you get, like one little insight can completely change your life. So for example, like today, I had a presentation, and I was fortunate enough to be able to speak in the main room today, which was a really cool experience, enormous room. And we had a couple hundred people there, and I spoke on creating your profit first business plan and figuring out your metrics when it comes to your close rate and your average job size and your lead slippage and the different things that you can do to impact those numbers and how that relates to your profit first business plan, how you can actually work less and make more money. And then Brandon Vaughn with Hire Bus and previous Conquer Coaching, he went on like right after me and spoke on a very similar topic about the lead slippage and about the conversion rates and about the sales rate, but did it with the kind of focus of putting your team in place. And it was a really cool angle. It was an angle that I didn't take, but even just me like listening and sitting in and not expecting to get these big aha moments, but actually getting some really, really cool aha moments, and talking to everybody after about the different aha moments that they had generated through the various speakers. And it's not even just the speakers, but it's also the other attendees. I mean, I met one attendee today. He's running a painting business in Australia. They're doing $100 million a year in revenue, right? They do residential, commercial, industrial, everything. They put paint on everything, right? And they do about $100 million a year, one of the largest painting companies in Australia. Talk to multiple companies doing $20 million, $10 million plus. And you just get little insights from these people, and they can cause enormous changes in your life. So when you look at the short term, it's like, hey, I'm spending, $1,000 on a ticket, $2,000 on a ticket, plus $1,000 on flights, plus $1,000 on travel, plus $500 in expenses. Okay, I'm like $4,500 in, let's say, as an attendee of one of these events. If I learn one thing that allows me to grow my company by 10%, like, okay, what was that $4,500 worth? Right? It's crazy when you really start to think about the investments that you make in your business. And I did a lot of like mini interviews today. I'm going to be releasing them over time on Instagram and YouTube. It's a bunch of shorts. But the really overwhelming consensus of all of these guys that are doing 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million is that they would be nowhere without coaching. Right? Any kind of coach. The guy that I met that was doing 100 million, he has 4 different types of coaches that he works with right now. And he's had dozens of coaches. He's acquired, the guy who's doing 20 million, he acquired, hired on his last business coach because they were doing so well. And it's like, hey, why don't you just work for us full time? That'd be such a better, use of your time. So he just literally hired on his business coach to work full time at his company and be in personnel development. Like, what a great idea, right? And so meeting these types of people that are making bigger moves than you will literally unlock so much within yourself, within your business, your capability that you didn't even know you had. And it's really cool to be amongst these people. I mean, I'm learning so much, and I knew that I was going to. I love coming to these things because I do learn so much. And, one of the focuses that we have this year is social media. And, I'm here hanging out with ZK Painting and Moose Painting and the Idaho Painter and all these guys that have absolutely dominated on social media and just getting little insights here, little tips there. And it's just, it's such a really fortunate position that I and everyone else that's here can be in, is to be able to learn from other people. And you might be in a situation where travel is hard or difficult or downright impossible, but I would encourage every single person listening to this that in 2025, if you've never traveled for your business, if you've never invested in a conference, if you've never done any networking like that, I encourage you, highly, highly encourage you to go out of your comfort zone and just do one, right? Whether it is the Painter Growth Mastermind, and if you're interested in that, I'll throw a link below. We're doing one in April in Orlando. We have a couple of tickets left. Or if it is one of the PCA events, like the residential conference in the fall, or the commercial painting conference, or with the Women in Paint, or the PCA en Espanol. Sherwin-Williams does a lot of events. There's a lot of the local events that you do, like the gatherings of Michigan painters or the gathering of Florida painters. Like, there's a lot of really great events. And I just encourage you to find one, start networking, start learning from people who are doing way more than you could ever imagine. And like I said, even if you get one little bit, one little tip from someone, it could completely change your life. Add 10%, 50%, 100% to your business just by a couple of little things, right? You never know. And so that's why I love coming to these things, because it just lifts us all up, puts us together. You learn things that you never would have thought of, and you make lifelong connections. And then the next time you come to the same event, you're not just this stranger, this first timer coming in. You don't know anyone. You're coming in and you're getting high fives. You're getting given hugs. You're laughing. You're like, it's such a great community environment to be a part of. So if you've never done anything like that, this is the year. Even if you have to save up, like even if you have to, put on a credit card, like just do it. Just freaking do it. It will be worth it, especially if it's the right event for you. And if you're not sure what event you should go to, shoot me an email, mike@paintergrowth.com. Tell me a little bit about your business, and I will guide you. I will point you in the right direction for what event you should join. So where your business is at, location, revenue, what's your goals, and I'll point you in the right direction for the right event. So Yesterday was a crazy day. I woke up at about 6 a.m., 5:45. I looked at my phone, had a text message saying my flight, which I was supposed to leave at noon, through noon from Saskatoon, Vancouver, Denver. It wasn't even delayed, but it was just canceled. They canceled it 7 hours early. So I got that email, the text 7 hours before my flight that it was canceled, and I was reaccommodated the next day. So which would have been this morning. And looking at the itinerary, I would have missed my presentation. I would have missed everything. Not good. So I was like, I can't do that. So I looked online, found a different flight with a different airline that left like basically an hour and a half, later that morning. So instead of leaving at noon, I had to leave at like 8 a.m. Central. So I leave, I basically have breakfast, finish packing, leave, say goodbye to my kids, my family, go to the airport. And so the difference is instead of going from Saskatoon to Vancouver to Denver, this was a double layover. So I don't know if you've ever had a double layover flight. This was going to go from Saskatoon to Calgary to Seattle, and then Seattle to Denver. I'm like, you know what? This is the only way to do it. I get there on time. I'm going to be able to get my drive to Colorado Springs, which is another hour and a half from Denver to Colorado Springs where the PCA event is. And it's like, okay, it's going to be fine. So I get to the airport, get on my flight to Calgary, get to Calgary fine, have a little bit of a layover, grab some food, get on my flight to Seattle, and I'm sitting in the airplane for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, not moving. And I only have a short layover in Seattle. And after about 45 minutes in the plane not moving, the pilot or whoever was like, yeah, we're iced up. It's going to be a little while longer. Really, really sorry. We'll get going as quick as we can. I'm like, okay, well, already missed my connection. There's no way that I'm going to make that. So I'm going to get to Seattle and then figure it out. So we finally get going like another 45 minutes later. So this fairly short flight turned into a pretty long thing. I get to Seattle, and as soon as I'm landing in Seattle, I get another text message that says, all right, I've now been reassigned to another plane, but instead of going straight from Seattle to Denver, I'm going through Salt Lake to Denver. And I'm like, okay, so another flight. So this is going to be 4 flights, 3 layovers, canceled flight, 2 missed connections, but okay, whatever, let's do it. Let's get to Salt Lake City, and then let's get to Denver. So my Salt Lake City flight was leaving pretty soon, so I go pretty much straight to the gate, jump on my Salt Lake City flight. I think I might have had actually an hour or so. Hard to remember at this point. So with so many layovers, I get on my flight, go sit down. Actually, at first I couldn't find my flight, so that took me a little while to figure that out. But they ended up getting me on, and we're sitting there for a while. And I'm sitting there for I'm like, okay, great, this is gonna be awesome. I have like 45-minute layover in Salt Lake City, gonna get to Denver nice and early. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fine, whatever. So we're sitting there again, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Notification over the intercom. Excuse me, everyone. We don't have a pilot, so we're just waiting for a pilot. If you have a short connection, come off the plane, and we're going to see what we can do to reaccommodate you. Oh, great. So I had a short layover in Salt Lake City, whatever they'd scheduled me. So I'm like, that doesn't work. I went on my phone. I saw that there was a direct from Seattle to Denver. So I go to the kiosk. I'm like, hey, can I go on this flight? They're like, you know what? Sure you can. Pull my bags off. Wait for I have 2.5 hours, 3 hours more in Seattle, and then I hop on my flight, get to Denver I land at midnight. I finally get to Denver by midnight. So now that's midnight Mountain, 1 a.m. Central. So now I've been traveling from 8 a.m. Central to 1 a.m. Central. I get to the turnstile to go get my bags, and of course they don't show up. Go to lost baggage. They're like, yeah, your bags are still in Seattle. So we're gonna courier them to your hotel. I'm like, okay, sounds good, whatever. I was just detached from the outcome. So I'm like, just let's get it done. I need to go to bed. I'm exhausted. So I go rent my car, hour and a half drive from Denver to Colorado Springs. I didn't realize it was so far. So I do the drive in the pitch black from 1 a.m. till 2:30. I get to my Airbnb just before 2:30 in the morning Mountain, which is 3:30 Central. So my total travel day was 8 a.m. till 3:30 a.m., which is about, I think it's 18 and a half hours. Get in and I fall asleep. At 3:30 Mountain, or 3:30 Central, 2:30 Mountain. Fall asleep for a solid 4.5 hours. Get up, go do the expo today. So that's what I did today. It was the expo. I had a presentation, did a brain meld, and my bags didn't show up. So now it is nighttime now after a Tuesday night. So you're going to be listening to this on Wednesday, and still don't have my bags. So I need my conference gear. I have my banner signs, my backdrop, and my suitcase. I was able to get a toothbrush, so I at least have that. But I would love some new clothes. I would love my bags. I would love my conference gear. It's supposed to be coming soon, so hopefully in the morning it's here. They said it's going to be delivered between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. to the hotel. So we'll see if it comes. But if it doesn't come, it is what it is. I'm having a really great time hanging with awesome people, learning a lot for my business, learning a lot for our clients, learning a lot for just myself as a person, and meeting amazing people, creating lasting relationships, getting really cool ideas again for myself, our clients, our business, and just doing something really cool in the industry. I don't think a lot of industries have an event like this. So again, if you have a chance maybe next year to get to the expo, highly recommend it. A lot of fun. And if you want to do something sooner, again, we have a mastermind coming up in April. So shoot me an email if you're interested on that. Give you some details. That's going to be in Orlando, April 3 and 4. And that's going to be like a 2.5 day event. A lot of fun. So, I had a crazy, travel day from hell to get here, but it was totally worth it. But yeah, it was a really great time. So I guess with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this random ranting episode, and have a wonderful evening. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.